Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Today's stories includes relationship problems, neglect parents, family drama, entitled people and just no bosses. Let's start. Am I the idiot for telling my dad's wife that plus ones don't get accommodations? My, 29, female, and my husband welcomed our daughter 7 months ago. I do not live in the same country as my divorced parents, so they both separately came to meet the baby when she was born. My dad met her when she was a month old and hasn't been able to make it back since. He planned a visit for later in the month and asked if he could bring his wife, Anna, which I said was okay. Over the past week, Anna has been asking for an increasing amount of changes to the plans we have made for the week. She wants to go to different places, different restaurants. She even tried to change the dates to be more convenient for her. I was getting a bit fed up with this and told my dad numerous times that I'd planned things with him, myself, and my daughter in mind, so I didn't really appreciate Anna thinking she could mix and match what she wanted to do. My dad said he understood, but that still didn't stop him texting me with her requests, all of which I declined. Yesterday, she texted me directly, asking if we could plan a day trip to a town 1 hour 50 minutes away because she'd always wanted to go there. I told her I'm absolutely not going on a 4-hour round trip to a town I've been to 400 times, with an infant, and that if she wants to go she must organize that in her own time. She responded that this trip was her own time, to which I said she is welcome to hire a car and drive there at any time she wants, but I will not be going. She said it wasn't fair that I hadn't acquiesced to any of her requests, at which point I got irritated. I told her that plus ones don't get to make the schedule and that if she didn't like the itinerary, she shouldn't feel pressured to come. My dad blew up on me for saying this, saying I should have just asked him to handle it, and now I've upset her by insinuating that she wasn't welcome, which I don't think I did. I told my dad I'm not fussed whether she comes or not, but she is tagging along on his trip to see his granddaughter, and she needs to be respectful of that. He said that is not how she saw it, that she saw it as more of a communal holiday and that I was harsh for what I said and an a-hole for sticking him in the middle. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I think I might be the a-hole for upsetting my dad by sticking him in the middle of the conflict. I could have just let him know I was upset as I had been previously, rather than taking it directly to Anna. I don't think you're rude for not wanting to go on some random excursion with her with a young baby, but it sounds like to your dad and his wife, this wasn't solely a trip to visit you, but rather a vacation, in which they would be spending some time visiting you. If that's the case, he should have told me that, and then they could have booked a hotel. He never portrayed it like that to me. I was just going based on what you wrote. I could be wrong, but presumably if she is making all these plans, it's because it was pitched as a vacation to her. Yeah, I get that. You're right, it may be worth a conversation with my dad to see how he saw this going. Not unreasonable, just temperamental in my experience. She's not controlling, but she does have a habit of liking to feel, quote, catered to. If this was a person you liked, and not your father's girlfriend, would you be open to any changes? Or is this about your dislike for her personally and not about the schedule? People I like don't act like this, lol. But seriously, it's not because it's her asking, it's because it's a person whom I didn't actually invite. Like, if I had a friend I invited to meet my baby, and she asked if she could bring her boyfriend and her boyfriend did this, I'd tell him where to go as well. If I have a plan with someone, and you get invited along, you're tagging along with an existing plan, the plan does not then become about you. If you don't like it, don't come. Is it catered to or just like, feeling a baseline of consideration and inclusion? Do you make her feel like a barely tolerated interloper? Do you resent her presence, and she bristles against that? Catered to means she likes to feel like people are going out of their way for her, and if she doesn't she gets sulky like a toddler. Even my dad acknowledges this. She has a job, and yes this is her vacation time, but she was welcome to save it and wait for a real holiday. She could have come and met my dad after he had visited me, and they could have done tourist things in the area. She had and still has infinite options. I am not stealing her holiday time. When my dad and I planned this trip, we discussed what we'd be doing, and I took suggestions. Once I had booked restaurants, planned which days my husband would need to take off to have the baby, which days I need domestic help, etc., my dad asks to bring Anna along, and suddenly, all of that should be reshuffled for her. I simply don't agree with that. It's not about everything needing to be focused on my baby, but the fact that this is not a holiday for me, it's my daily life, that I organized around my dad coming to spend time with me and my daughter, not Mrs. Harris going to Paris. If Anna wants a holiday, she should have one, but that's not what this is. Edit, my dad lives abroad, and I would not expect Anna to help me with childcare. She's not a +1. She's your father's wife/your stepmom. She's literally part of your family. If a complete stranger can pick up on your utter disdain for her, I imagine it's not hard for your dad and stepmom to pick up on the fact. OP, she is a +1 in the sense that she was invited by an invitee. I invited my dad, and he invited her. If he didn't come, the trip would not be happening. If she didn't come, it would make no difference to the existing plan, ergo, she is a +1. No, that is not how I turned her down. I was more polite than that. There's no need to tell them they can't borrow my car, it is obvious for insurance purposes. She is your guest, not just a +1, she is allowed to ask to do things she wants as long as she doesn't force you to do them. She is a +1, she was invited by someone that I invited. She is allowed to ask, I am allowed to say no, and she is allowed to rent a car and do the thing anyway. She is not allowed to be upset that I won't do what she wants. Honestly, this sounds like it's your dad's fault. He should have stopped funneling her requests to you when you made it clear you weren't interested in them, and talked to his wife about making their own touristy plans together, or whatever in their free time in your country. I agree, I probably do need to talk to him about that, but also, if she views this as her own holiday, I don't understand why she keeps making suggestions that I need to be involved in. If you have a restaurant you want to go to with my dad, then go. If it's your trip, I don't have to. She's not a random +1, she's half of a married couple. If you're inviting a married person, you're also inviting their spouse, unless you specifically say, no, I only want dad here and Anna is specifically not invited. I can't imagine your dad calling your husband or your baby a +1 if he invited you to visit. That's also a good point. When I invited my dad, he specifically asked me if it was okay if he brought her along. So I doubt he presumed she was invited. Info, why did you decline to switch up the restaurants? Are the ones Anna wants to go to not child-friendly? Some are restaurants me and my dad plan to go to for nostalgic reasons, some are just restaurants I wanted to show him, or eat at regularly, or I think he'd enjoy. The ones Anna wants to go to are either food I'm not keen on, or gimmicky, influencer traps. Info, are you open to them doing their own thing sometimes during the trip? Looking at your comments, it kinda comes off like you expect their focus to be 100% on the baby the entire trip. And you've set up a full itinerary. That's a lot. I planned the trip with my dad when he said he was coming. I included some afternoons of not doing much, but at the time, he was coming alone, so I obviously didn't plan for him doing stuff by himself, as he's been to the city and the area before, so not into tourist stuff and is fine hanging out at my house. I also planned for him and I to do things without the baby. I wasn't like, you must be with an infant 24/7. What I didn't plan for was Anna having her own agenda. And frankly, if my dad had said, hey, do you mind me and Anna taking a day to do XYZ, I would have said fine, but that wasn't the case. She wanted me to adjust my plans to fit her for several days, instead of just making her own for a small portion of the trip. Or better yet, taking a separate trip entirely. I honestly don't think OP was an a-hole in this situation. Could OP have been more open to her stepmother's requests? Yes. But OP made it very clear that this was a trip for her dad to spend time with her and the baby. As for the changes in the places that dad's wife wanted to go, like the restaurants they will visit, perhaps OP choices are better to take such a young child, better parking, better changing table, a more appropriate place to take children, while the options that stepmother wants aren't so suitable after all. But I also don't believe stepmom is being an a-hole on purpose. She saw the opportunity to go on a trip and meet and explore new places, but unfortunately this is not the best situation. I think what's missing here is that OP's dad needs to talk with his wife and explain that the main reason for the trip is for him to spend time with his family. And she is welcome as long as she respects their space and the chosen itinerary. As OP already said, if she wants to do other activities, she is totally free to do that. Just don't keep asking OP or dad to do these activities together or to take the time that OP has with her dad to do them. And what do you think about this situation? What would you do in OP's shoes? How would you deal with OP's father and stepmother? Do you think she overreacted? Or not? Don't forget to leave your thoughts below. Now let's see what the comments say. Not the idiot. Let's break this down. 1. You are a new mom. Recovering from a birth still, and you and your husband have a 7-month-old infant. 2. Your dad's wife is making weird, unreasonable extra travel demands and pretending the trip to bond with your baby is her own personal holiday. 3. Your own dad won't even stand up for you and is mad you somehow put him in the middle. He's putting you in the middle by not standing up for you. Just know. Enjoy your new little family. I truly hope your dad comes around. Edit to add. I feel like your title is a bit misleading actually and leaning toward your dad's wife's side. The real problem seems to be that she is trying to turn bonding time into her personal holiday. To be fair to him, he did tell her no to her previous requests when I said I wasn't happy. I think he wanted me to keep funneling communication through him so that he could manage her better. Not the idiot. It's not a matter of +1 or not. She wants a vacation trip and not to meet her step-grandchild. You're on the right. This meeting is about bonding time between your child and their extended family, not touristing around. Tell your father and Anna that if they want to do that other stuff, they can extend their time in town, in a hotel room and do their travel plans. But these specific days are about your child. Not the idiot. If she wants a holiday, they should book a hotel and stay longer there before or after their visit with you, that way his wife can do as she wishes during the non-family time. You are the idiot. Seriously, you can't let her pick a single restaurant for a dinner? You have everything so planned to the detail and she just has to go along with whatever you want? Not the idiot, for not wanting to do the day trip, but you are for being entirely uncompromising for everything else and for the way you spoke to her. Lady sounds pushy as hell and needs to back off. You did nothing wrong, and Anna needs to learn some manners. Shaking my head. Not the idiot. Final decision. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? Would you advise OP anything else? If so, don't forget to leave your comments below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Thanks for my master's degree. I used to work for a manager who was just terrible. All she was good for was approving time off. She spent most of her work time planning her vacations, delegating her actual work, and taking credit for her employees' work. And she would travel on the company dime to seminars and conferences, and come back with no work-related information to share him but tons of stories about her vacation. I mean, her work trip. She also did not believe in developing her staff. Opportunity for additional training, education, or certifications? Not for us. But she would go out of her way to take those opportunities for herself, and then give up on them as soon as she realized she would have to do the work. I had requested some in-house training, so that would have opened up some career opportunities for me, and she kept making excuses for why I couldn't get the training. It's not in the budget, we can't spare you, etc. And because she was my manager, it was completely up to her to approve it. Well, the training was $1,500, and it included the tuition, the books, and the certification testing. I finally gave up on asking and decided to apply to a graduate program in a related field to the training I wanted. Because tuition reimbursement was a company benefit and didn't require manager approval, I got accepted and submitted my tuition reimbursement to the company for the following 2 years. In the end, the company ended up paying for my graduate degree to the tune of $12,000. All because my crappy boss wouldn't approve in-house training for $1,500. Well, that actually ended up very good for you. Good one. See guys, don't be a prick to the people who work with you or for you. If OP's ex-manager did her job, she might have a better qualified team working under her, who actually wanted to work with / for her. And who knows, maybe the company might not have this $12,000 expense. But hey, if she actually did her job well, OP might not went after the new degree. So in the end, there was a good side to her being a crappy boss. Good for you, OP. And what do you guys think about this situation? Would you do the same as OP? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.